So, we were talking a little bit about Urza yesterday, and I was talking about how I felt like the archetype was underexplored, and I had this idea a little while ago, and I was intending on brewing with it off stream. I had some time last night, and my idea was Gingerbread Cabin, basically. Playing a mana base like the Mystic Sanctuary mana base, but with forests instead of islands, to allow you to have Gingerbread Cabin give you a food token as often as possible, which makes Gilded Goose way better, and it also makes Urza way better. Just having that extra artifact on turn 4 when you cast Urza is a big deal, makes holding up Cryptic Command way easier, and that was always like... Those are always the most powerful turns when you go Urza into Cryptic Command. Also trying a few different things. My first draft was a Sultai version. Just getting 7 months. Hope you're having a good day today. When does Wizards ban Gingerbread Cabin? We'll see. It did feel pretty good yesterday. I actually got to kill 2 Scourge of the Skyclaves with a Gingerbread Cabin food token. I started off Sultai, but I think being red for Wrenn and Six, just Wrenn and Six plus Tireless Tracker plays so well together, and I was playing 24 lands in the Sultai version. I'm playing 22 with 4 Wrenn and Six, which I think is fun. I'm also playing a Mox Amber. We have the Gilded Geese. You also get access to Galvanic Blast if you're red, which is a pretty good card in the metagame at the moment. And when I was Sultai, I was playing Nile Spellbomb instead of Chromatic Star in the main deck, which is maybe a bit better, maybe not. And when I was black, I had a bunch of sideboard spot removal. So, alright, let's go ahead and play some matches. What is this monologue? What's happening? Every morning, some user chest, one of our mods here, writes a little opening spiel for me that I read off. Is the bit. Yeah, Gingerbread Cabin, pretty cool. It definitely put in work yesterday and helps power up this deck a bit. It's not like Gingerbread Cabin is just out here dominating your opponent, but like Mystic Sanctuary, the opportunity cost for playing this card is not that high, and just getting like a little bit of value off of your fetch lands that like impacts the board is huge. Is huge. Is 14 card sideboard a glitch? No, it shouldn't be. Good catch. I was messing with the sideboard this morning. Let me look at the stream decker. Good catch. I was definitely messing with the sideboard, so maybe I accidentally cut the sideboard card. Yo, how does the deck win? Urza and Tireless Tracker beatdowns. No, it says 14 sideboard cards. I've goofed, I suppose. We can play Veil of Summer number 3. I had an Elder Gargaroth in the Sultai version. Could maybe play the Gargaroth in the sideboard. Play 1 Bolt. I think I'm kind of down for Veil number 3. One of my losses last night was to Blue-White Control. So let me go ahead and get that real quick. You guys just keep riding the hype train while I get this Veil of Summer. Iovine, Haunter, thank you for your subscriptions. Hope you're having a good day today. Appreciate you. You like everything about this. Awesome. Yeah, I spent like... I played so much Magic. I probably played Magic for like 11 hours yesterday or something like that. I streamed for 6 hours and I played 5 hours off stream last night, which is way more than I usually do. But I think just like one, like I usually play 1 league off stream a night, testing for the stream, and it just didn't feel like after that first Sultai league, it did feel like I had something there, but after talking with some people on Twitter, I kind of came to the conclusion that Temur was better, so I also played like a Temur league, and had kind of a late night. So let me drop real quick so I can rejoin with the 15 card sideboard this time. Gingerbread Cabin's been putting in work. The card has been very, very nice to have access to. I even got to kill 2 Scourge of the Skyclaves with it. But like this, having access to a a fetchable gain 3 life against this very red heavy metagame is really nice, and the card is really good with a Gilded Goose and Urza specifically. And it's also good with Metallic Rebuke, but that's that's like at the late game, mid game. Not enough blue cards for Force. I was playing some Forces in the first version. They felt just pretty medium, especially when you have access to Metallic Rebuke. Metallic Rebuke is like, I think, maybe a bit better. But I don't think we're necessarily too low on blue cards. So my opponent has revealed Allurus of the Dream Den. This hand is keepable if either our Goose lives or or we draw a land in the top 2. I think I'm going to keep. Maybe I'm not supposed to keep against Lurus. If Wrenn dies, we can maybe Galvanic Blast on 2, though. Did I go over the idea behind the deck in the last video? Is Tracker Construct Beatdown really good enough? I don't know what you mean by last video. So, but I went over the idea this morning at the beginning of today's stream. But if you're asking if Urza plus Tireless Tracker can actually win a game, yes is the answer. They make a ton of power. I didn't stream with this deck yesterday. I brewed it up off stream. Alright, they dismember the Goose. But they also kept a 1-lander. Alright, that's back. Yeah, I mean, Urza makes a giant construct in this deck, and Tireless Tracker also gets huge, so I don't really know why you feel like that wouldn't be enough win conditions. Well, goodbye, Wrenn and Six. Opponent also with 1 land. Is it time for land number 2? No, it's not. Yikes, what a game. Discard spell? I mean, if they discard my Emry, it's not that good for me. What a weird game. Mana through the Gathering, yeah. I thought because if either the Goose lives or we draw a land, this hand got to function. It was worth keeping. Basic Forest, oh no. Definitely a rough start. We get to bring in all these Veil of Summers for game 2, though. In fact, I think it's probably about time to go to game 2. We also have these Engineered Explosives, which really do shine in these kinds of matchups. I'm probably interested in cutting the Mox Amber against the deck with all the cheap Disruption. Going down on Metallic Rebukes as well makes sense to me. And I probably want the full 4 Galvanic Blasts. So again, also maybe see cutting like the 3rd Cryptic and maybe the 3rd Rebuke as well. Rebuke's not great in this matchup, I think. Veil of Summer's kind of playing that role pretty well. You can also win the game with a Wrenn and Six ultimate. Soul Guide normally performs in these Death Shadow matchups. Maybe that would have been worth including. I'm not sure. I probably want to keep this hand. It's obviously a bit medium. We have an early removal spell. I'm going to get a Triome with this Wooded Foothills. Yeah, Oko would be pretty good in this deck, but sadly it's too expensive for me. Good start for my opponent. Very good start for my opponent. 1 mana 3/4 haste. Ever heard of Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath? I don't think the card's very good. Alright, so we're going to need to draw a 0-mana artifact or a land for next turn, I think. No thought to shocking with Bauble in the stack. I mean, I think we mostly need the blue mana from the Triome. It was the main reason for not shocking the Swiftspear there. It's also like if we fetch and shock, we're taking 2 damage. And so we're taking 2 damage to save us 3, and we're not getting the blue source, so I felt like it was better to just get the Triome. Wasn't tapped Gingerbread Cabin the better choice? I don't think so, because if we just draw a land, then we get to play Gingerbread Cabin and trigger Urza off of it, but maybe you are right. Maybe you are right, since we're playing a tapped here. And then that would guarantee the ability to play either one next turn. Yeah, I think you're probably right about that. Triple blue plus Gingerbread Cabin seems awkward to do. Yeah, it is doable, but you know, for the fetchable duels, we have 1 Triome, 1 Stomping Ground, and then one Stomping Ground, and then 4 Breeding Pools, 1 Triome, and then beyond that, we've got 3 Gingerbread Cabins, and 2 basic forests and 1 basic island. So this card is definitely castable, but it's certainly not as good as it is in other decks. But one of the big ideas is that it's very easy to cast off of exactly Urza, and double blue is very easy, I think. So kind of hoping I can find an engineered explosives this game. They also have a removal spell for this? No, they're just shocking, maybe. They have another Scourge on top of their library, which we can maybe Metallic Rebuke. We get to Bauble again, which is nice. If we had another cabin, we could shrink the Scourge here, but we don't. Good morning, 9-Ball. It's going to be kind of difficult to get Metalcraft for this. Wow. But if we can, and it's definitely possible, you know, it's possible we just blast them, you know. Blast yourself to grow the Scourge, genius. So maybe they have Temur Battle Rage and we'll get to Metallic Rebuke it. No, going down to 4. We got a deck tech for 7th Prophet. Toski and Taxes, interesting. Take a look at that. So we get to draw 2 new cards. We know they have a Scourge of the Skyclaves in their hand, and they're drawing a Fatal Push for next turn. So we can get 2 artifacts in play by getting Cabin and getting back Mishra's Bauble, but that's just not enough. If we Cabin, we go down to 3. This is going to stay at 14-14. So I know my opponent's drawing Fatal Push. They can just push my Emry if... Yeah, they could just push my Emry if I leave it back to chump block the Scourge, if they have any way to trigger Revolt. So we can maybe just get back Bauble and dig for the 3rd copy of Cryptic. I know they only have 1 in the deck, but it just doesn't feel like chumping is going to be a winning line to me. And, you know, we technically have 2 looks. There's a snow-covered forest on top. We get to fetch here. Get 1 more look. So this is Toski and Taxes. One thing to note is you don't really have a lot of taxing effects here. I see that you've got, you know, no Thalia, no Lead and Arbiter, and I would really recommend... Oh, no. So sad. Tough stuff. So for a white weenie decks like this to survive in Modern to succeed, they need to play Thalia and Lead and Arbiter, in my opinion. And so I think you would need to be cutting cards like probably Voice of Resurgence and Luminarch Aspirant to have those. I also don't think Havlar is playable. I would just play Toski as your top end. I don't think you can afford to also play 3 copies of Chariot. That's way too many 4-drops, especially in a 23-land deck. I'm not a big fan of Gideon Blackblade either. I would probably not be playing any of those. Yasharn's pretty cool. I could see maybe main decking 1 Yasharn in a combination with the Toskis. I probably wouldn't be on Baffling End in the sideboard either, or Radiant Purge. Try to maybe play Celestial Purge in those spots instead. Play Veil of Summer too, probably. Some number. Gaddock Teague is also a really good card for the sideboards. Well, there, amigo, this is Pioneer. Oh my gosh, this is like the third time. This is like the third time this has happened, where I've looked at a deck and I thought it was modern, and I just like, okay, all right, sorry. This looks like a good. This looks like a bad modern deck, a good Pioneer deck. I do still think that 23 lands and 6 4-drops is too many 4-drops. So potentially go up to 24, 25 lands if you want to play this many 4-drops. Okay, sorry. I don't think Aven Mind Sensor is very good in Pioneer, from what I can tell. Might play more Archons. Archon has really been impressing me as a card. Mulligan this hand. Keeping this one. Point of view Luris. I think I'm going to put back the second Cryptic. Hopefully this Explosives will be good against the Luris deck. Is Gideon good? I don't know. I feel like I'm still not very high on Gideon. Can we put back a land? You know what? I think that might be better. Alright, I like your deck. But those are just some few notes, but it actually seems reasonable to me. I mean, Mind Sensor is a sideboard card, if anything. Mind Sensor, in my opinion, is just not a main deck Pioneer card. How's the deck been? The deck, I've only played 2 leagues, but I 3-2'd both of them, and the deck felt solid for sure. Same matchup back to back. They took one of the 2 Cryptics, which is kind of scary. I think I'm not fetching just in case they're just on a Scourge here, and I immediately get punished for it. Immediately getting punished. Gideon is aggressive and gives Toski Vigilance. Giving Toski Vigilance is cool. I mean, I've cast Gideon Blackblade in Pioneer before. I just don't remember it being very good. Like, Gideon Blackblade wasn't really much of a playable standard card even, you know? We can play out E to dodge Inquisition. Yeah, I know we can. I just don't know if we should. Especially because they just have 1 and 2 mana threats. And they already know about it, you know? I've had success with Temur Bloodbraid decks with Archmage's Charm, Cryptic, and a couple remands. I wouldn't play Remand and Bloodbraid Elf in the same deck. I guess that's my thought. I can get the basic island here and cast Emry. No, I really don't think my opponent's going to cast Gurmag Angler. It's just a feeling I've got. Like, they don't have Gurmag Angler in their deck. So if this lives, then we can, you know, just recur Explosives and win the game, usually. In this kind of spot. We've got a big Death Shadow, though. But if they just don't have exactly Lightning Bolts, because they don't have Revolts, because they have Blood Crypts. They don't have exactly Lightning Bolts, we get to Flashback Explosives. I mean, I guess we could play, like, Seal of Fire, too. Awesome. Tracker's not a bad draw either. Gonna wait to crack this until their beginning of combat step in case they have a Monastery Swiftspear. I'm going to get the Triome end of turn. I think I value that more than the 1 extra clue here. Is the lifting of lockdown measures in Texas mean you can go for paper events again? I'm absolutely not going to do that. I think the lifting of lockdown measures is a huge mistake, and Greg Abbott is a goblin, as I've been saying. If anything, the lifting of measures is maybe Greg Abbott retaliating for my harsh treatment of him over the last couple of weeks. A black goblin or a red goblin? A colorless goblin devoid of any human characteristics at all. An Eldrazi goblin. I know we are losing the scry value from the Bauble here, but I think it's worth it to make sure we get both clues. I'm not going to crack the Bauble until my opponent's turn, just to make sure that I'm not opening myself up to a discard spell. I've always lived in Texas. Yeah, I've always lived in Texas. I don't know what the confusion there is. You have a Night's Whisper on top. I mean, if anything, Greg Abbott's doing this because he doesn't want to see the negative headlines about his horrible mismanagement of the power outages, you know? It's my opinion. Real sassy lately? I guess. I'm fucking sick of my state's terrible leadership, though, so... Maybe less sassy than... maybe not sassy, just a little less filtered. Oh, Mimi is Gingerbread? Gingerbread's been putting in work. Like, here it means I'm just not dead to the shadow attack, maybe? Who is Greg Abbott? He's the state's governor. So we could just sack a food here. It's probably a bit better to chump block, though. Another copy of Explosives would be really good. They have a Lightning Bolt on top, so boy am I glad I didn't just take the damage. Yeah, I think Tracker is pretty good in Modern right now. Kind of floating out a bit, but I guess that's not too bad when you have Tracker. Let's pop up Clue. So we can gain 6 life and play Goose as a chump blocker. Although I guess the Goose is getting lightning bolted. So I probably do want to pop the Bauble on my turn to see if there's a Cryptic for me to tap my opponent's team. There is an Engineered Explosive, so... Now we have an easy line. Awesome. Attack rate? Well, I will only attack if I'm not dead to the lightning bolt I know about. So I was about to count after I bobbled myself to see what the best line would be. But it's not just like an obvious attack, because if we know our opponent's drawing bolts, so if they can bolt the Goose, I can't chump block the Shadow. And so at that point I might need to gain 6 life off the foods and block Luris or Swift Spear. Oh, they had the bolt in their hand. I guess they're just drawing another one. Right? Or did they already draw it? I just totally forgot. I mean, I still don't think I mind this trade. I wanted to mention that after hearing you talk about your experience with dysgraphia, I looked into it and dang, it was way too real. I've never had a name for my experience, so thanks. I definitely hear you. I have a friend of mine who also has dysgraphia, and she and I like had never ever met anybody else with it, and it's obviously not like the biggest, most impactful, you know, thing in the world, but just like once you have a name for it, it becomes way easier. They drew it off the Bauble. Okay, I must have forgotten that. I think that's still an exchange I'm happy making, but obviously I wish I was a little more savvy about it. All right, Bomat's good for them here. We do have only one more copy of Galvanic Blast in our deck too. What a rip. And these food tokens. Really nice that they're here right now. I guess these geese are free to play. Midmites. I'm gonna go ahead and activate Urza here. Just a Misty. Gingerbread Cabin and Gingerbread Cabin. They dismember the construct token. And this attack means they probably have another copy of Lightning Bolt, and I'm not really interested in trading Urza for Bowmat and Bolt, so. Is there some sort of combo you can fit in this deck with Urza? I mean, there are combos with Urza. I am currently not choosing to play any, I guess. Notably, food tokens, you have to tap them to sack them for life, so it's not like they're just free to tap like clue tokens are, where you don't have to tap clues to sacrifice them. Is my opponent going to scoop to the third goose? So I think I'm going to tap 2 Arc Foods and then spin Urza one more time here. That's another Gingerbread Cabin. But let me just go ahead and attack for 1 here. Oh wait, no, I can just spin Urza again. Yeah, I'll do that. I think that's a bit better than holding up the Rebuke, especially against an opponent with a lot of lands here. Not really any chance we die this turn, I think, with 3 blockers and them not having a black creature in play. Gingerbread Cabin! You can make tokens with Goose. Yeah, I know. We can also just gain 18 life next turn if we want to. Please make people hate Gingerbread Cabin like Sanctuary. I would love to. They select their Bowmat, draw 3, discard Inquisition. Spike yesterday, Goose is bad. Yeah. So I think that Goose without Gingerbread Cabin is much worse for whatever that's worth. But I remember thinking that, like, I was thinking Goose is bad, and then I remembered I already had this idea that I wanted to test, so I felt like I kind of, I wanted to pull back a bit. Oh, let's just kill this Scourge, right? But opponent conceded from the game, okay. You can play Wicked Wolf in the sideboard. Yeah, I know that's a modern legal card. I don't know if I should play Wicked Wolf in the sideboard, though. Yesterday, I played 1 Gingerbread Cabin to kill 2 Scourges. It was awesome. I think this is how I cited last time, and I think I liked the sideboard plan, even though we lost. With us playing Cabin, we have proved that all the common lands from Eldraine have seen competitive play. Yeah? Well, I'm not entirely... I know I've played Witch's Cottage in some decks and liked it, but I don't know how competitive those decks were overall. But Witch's Cottage, I think, has a lot of potential. I'm gonna keep this hand. The explosives is real nice. Cottage is good in Standard. Not super in tune with Standard these days, but that's good to hear. I think I'm getting... Well, I was gonna get Basic Forest here. I don't have a Basic Mountain. I guess drawing that, though, I'll just get a Breeding Pool. Kind of nice if they just play Scourge, we get to crack the food. Kroxa is super fine. I think I'm just discarding Basic Island. I know this is a kind of painful way to approach this game, but we do have the food tokens at least. And we have explosives and Galvanic Blast to spot removal, so I think we can afford to do this. Night's Whisper. And Shadow. Can't I just ping this? I think I can just ping this. But I don't think that I should. I really don't feel like I can afford to lose my Wrenn and Six here. Rovis, 13 months. Are Wrenn there just because it's busted? Not really. Wrenn is also a very, very good in combination with Tireless Tracker. And Mox Amber. And Witch's Cottage maybe, kind of. And Wrenn is also busted, so putting good cards in your brew is usually something that you're incentivized to do anyways. Okay. I guess we're just discarding Wooded Foothills. They sided out Lurus in favor of Liliana. Don't really like having Liliana. I don't know. I don't feel like that sideboard plan makes a ton of sense to me. So I'm gonna get a cabin. And then I guess I play explosives on 0 to have Cryptic Command up. Did they see a Wrenn game 1? I don't know. Can't remember. Maybe they did. Urza with Cryptic Command up on turn 4. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. But thank you to Gingerbread Cabin. Huge shout out. Mistoko no deck, Perfect Curve, yeah. Oko will be pretty good in this deck, but it's just a little out of my budget, so it's a budget deck we're playing today. What did we lose to? We also lost to Red Black Scourge, so defeated by it, then getting our revenge in match number 2. You're in 6? Yeah, thank you, Ross. I did consider it when I was building the first draft, but I kind of forgot that it worked really well with Mox Amber. I don't think you really want to play more than one, but I think like being able to at least play the first one is nice, and then obviously it works so well with Tracker. And Galvanic Blast is good too, which I think Liz talked about. I can't remember who suggested Galvanic Blast. But these decks are definitely not my area of expertise. I didn't really play much of them in the old Urza meta. Any chance to watch a brew with Urza Stoneblade? I don't know. I did have an Urza Stoneblade deck. I haven't messed with it in a while, though. I'll keep those. Very curious for how the cabin Cryptic mana works. So you can still cast Cryptic Command without Urza. You do have to jump through some hoops sometimes. But with Urza, it's just super easy to cast Cryptic if you get that in play. And then you have like these really good draws. If you can play Urza with Cryptic up, it just feels like you usually win the game. So I think I still want to be on it. You know, you have access to a Triome. We're playing 1 Triome, 4 Breeding Pool, 1 Stomping Ground, 2 basic forests, 1 basic island, and 3 Gingerbread Cabin as our lands that actually make mana. Urza Stoneblade Brew got top 8 and tweaking this challenge. I didn't see that. I would love to take a look at their list if someone wants to take the time to send it my way. We actually turn 3 Cryptic Command with this hand. Amulet. How's the rest of the Goblins? I didn't finish the rest of the Goblins League. I went 1-2 drop yesterday. And I just didn't finish. Started working on this deck instead. Don't think I need to play this Mox. Uh-oh. They could turn 2 Titan here. Okay. Very unlikely with this Breeding Pool, though. So I guess I'm holding up this Cryptic. This looks cool. I like it. I like it. Looks similar to what I had, but maybe with... I was playing Thraben Inspector. But maybe the Thraben Inspector was nonsense. If they just cast Titan, maybe it's better to use Metallic Rebuke. While it's not dead. We also could maybe just emblem Wrenn this game. That could be our plan. I think I'm gonna get a cabin. We can have it. We could have Metalcraft next turn if they play a Dryad for Galvanic Blast, but we won't have it this turn. Why not play Tracker and hold Rebuke? Maybe that was a better line. Oh wait, could we have done that last turn? No, we couldn't have because we didn't have. Yeah, Rebuke wasn't 1 mana last turn. So, never mind. And it does kind of feel like this game I'm not trying to win with Tireless Tracker beatdowns. I'm just going to try to win by ultimating this Wrenn and having as many Cryptic Commands as I like. And now we could even Galvanic Blast a Dryad of the Elysian Grove. Tracker was 2 clue with fetch, so we could have. Oh, you're right. I guess that was the better line then. No. Sorry, it wasn't because we only had 3 lands in play. Chat keeps debating me. We had our 4th mana from Mox Amber. We could not have held up Cryptic Command. Stop debating me, chat, please. I think I'm gonna go ahead and Cryptic the land here because we can emblem the Wrenn. And we have a backup Wrenn, which is so perfect. So we go ahead and tap this for red, emblem. Rebuke, not Cryptic. On turn 3, we could not have played Tireless Tracker and a land because the 3rd land needs to tap for Tracker. Oh, no, wait, no, you're right. We could have tapped the Mox Amber. Sorry, chat. Chat was always right. Chat was always right. Sorry. Yeah. I just didn't see the line. Yeah. Naturalist mode 2 months in a row. Hope you're having a good day today. In my defense, like, chat is not always right at these spots, but chat was right this time, and I apologize. Tell me, Billy, hope you're having a good day today. Appreciate you. I kind of like having access to like 2 Galvanic Blasts for Dryad. Maybe honestly 3 is even good. Yeah, I apologize. I'm getting sassy. I think I'm just gonna trim a star. Yeah. I for whatever reason I just had this mental block that I can't. There's no way I could play Tireless Tracker and a land on turn 3. It's just ridiculous. I'm gonna look at this hand. Yeah, I thought it was just ridiculous to be able to play a land and get 2 clues. I think I'm keeping this. Obviously not the strongest hand. Is this deck Constance? Consistent? I don't know. It's still pretty early in the drafts of the deck, you know. Maybe. No Wildfire to combo with the Wrenn emblem, yeah. When I was, back a long time ago, and I used to go to F&M, I went with my friend, and then he told me about a match he played against a kid who had a Liliana of the Dark Realms emblem just in his deck. Just had a Liliana of the Dark Realms emblem, and was smart enough to just like play it and have a swamp tap for 4 mana. It was awesome. We told the kid how it worked, but he's like, "This is awesome! I opened a Liliana of the Dark Realms emblem. I'm gonna play it. And my swamp's gonna tap for 4. It's gonna be great." Well, regret not holding up Rebuke. Cast Emry. I couldn't have cast Emry after the sphere because it cost 1 more mana. Didn't find an artifact to play off of Emry either. Alright, if we get to go to game 3, I'm going to be playing more Galvanic Blasts. But yeah, that kid did recognize like what a good Magic card was. So Kudos to him. Also, milled 2 Urzas. Feels bad. Can you improvise and sack the food to Goose? I believe so, but we couldn't have that turn because the Damping Sphere made the Emry cost 1 more mana, but I believe that you can. Is Sphere actually good against Amulet? Yes, it is. It just like making their bounce lands only tap for 1 mana, I think is usually powerful. I'll just let this resolve. Or maybe that's bad because of the tracker. Drawing this many is not that good though. Might go down to like 3 Damping Spheres for game 3. I think you need 4 Blast Scepter board. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I kind of forget that they side this card in. Yeah, but making your opponent's bounce lands, like, make them return a land to the hand still and only tap for 1 colorless is really important. I guess I could maybe have made a food and then done this, but... They have 4 Tribe Scouts, 3 or 4 Trackers, and a Zeus. Yeah. They also have the Dryads, of course. I think I'm on board. Yeah, Sphere is also okay against Summoner's Pact. That's true. And it's also they're also an artifact. For this deck specifically, they're an artifact. Which is relevant. Right. But maybe at 4 in this matchup is too many. I agree that we want the 4 Galvanic Blasts. Maybe I'm kind of down to cut an Emry. I think I still want 3. I think I'm down to trim to 4th. Can you rebuke without blue mana and just artifact improv? No, improvise. It works different from convoke, where you always have to have at least the 1 color. I'm gonna keep this hand. I think I'm just gonna play Breeding Pool on turn 1, hold the Mox or so the Mishra's Bauble, and then on turn 2 we can have Metallic Rebuke or the Scry with the fetch land. You shouldn't keep bad hands because they have Sphere. I mean, I already mulled the 6. I think that was the keep. Like, I don't think I was supposed to go to 5 with that hand. Well, Wrenn and Six could chew those up. But I don't think I'm supposed to Metallic Rebuke the Tribe Scout. You didn't mean me, I see. Cryptic Command on top. To draw 2 cards. Obviously want to find like maybe just 2 lands. Put in a land, 3. They'd have to have 3 untap lands to Titan me next turn. I think I'm going to play my own tracker. And obviously hope that I draw a fetch land. Yeah, I think we can afford to play this. Yeah, they could have Amulet. Castle Garenbrig also does help their ability to Titan us. But yeah, it seems like they just are like... They have a lot of like mana doublers, but not a lot of mana. Yeah, I think they're light on lands in hand. Or maybe not. They could be sandbagging here. It could be good to play the second tracker. Second tracker like makes it way easier to Galvanic Blast this next turn, so... I think I'm just gonna hope that they're light on lands. I think we're probably not winning this game if they have a great hand anyways. They do have at least 1 land. We can at least Galvanic Blast this. Cool. So if we Urza, we do have Metallic Rebuke up, but we can't Galvanic Blast the tracker right now. I think I just want to Galvanic Blast the tracker. Hold up Rebuke. Attack with my trackers. I don't think that they're going to block. Casting Urza seems really good. I'm a little worried about this tracker though, so I think we can wait a turn on the Urza. Maybe I'll just kill the Soccer Tribe Scouts. Keep the Rebuke up. I think this is okay. Yeah, if we sack the Clue, the shields are down. I don't really mind killing the Scouts. I sack anyways. Well, if we sack, we don't have Rebuke up, and I think not having Rebuke up is a mistake. The Tribe Scouts haven't done anything. I know, but I think that going shields down, where we already have a tracker in play, it's probably just not necessary. Is this a brew or don't know? It's a brew. Something I've been, thinking about for a little bit. Spent some time to work on last night. I think I might as well rebuke this. It's certainly not doing very much, but we have a second rebuke, and just kind of ending their turn is nice here. It's a good draw. Can even get a cabin with that. We probably do go ahead and sack a Clue here. What would sacking a Clue even do? We could kill the Dryad would be the idea, I think. Yeah, definitely had some good cabin turns. See if they have a protection spell for their Titan. I think I'm just going to tap this, so theoretically I could block with the Construct. Probably not very relevant, though. I think my opponent's dead either way. I'll just Galvanic Blast the Dryad and kill him. I would need to draw a land or an artifact. Alright, 2-1. Feeling good. Why not sack the tap one? I thought I did. Not that the end of turn sack didn't matter, right? Yeah, I think this deck is really sweet. I don't know exactly how good it is, but it at least felt solid enough to stream with. And specifically, I wanted to put the idea out there that playing Gingerbread Cabin is maybe a way to revitalize Urza decks. And then have maybe the Urza players figure out the rest for me, because this is definitely not my area of expertise. I think I'm going to keep this hand. It's obviously a little loose. I think it could be a real thing. Maybe. Like, at the very least, like we saw, like, we've seen already this league that Gingerbread Cabin really does help power up a lot of the ideas in this archetype, And so, I don't necessarily think that this first list is perfect. And I think that also, I personally am not someone who's great at building Urza decks historically. Urza decks have always been something that I feel like I'm really good at getting like 70 of the 75 cards down, and then I agonize over like the last 5 slots forever, and I never feel completely satisfied about any Urza deck I've ever built, to be honest. So, hopefully that changes here. Hit Chromatic Star for our Emry. Hopefully that changes, but just being honest, of all like different decks and archetypes, this has always felt like a gap in my deck building ability. Looks like a Kolaghan's Command. I think I'm discarding Cryptic. This way I can track her with Rebuke up. I've learned my lesson. Sorry for yelling at chat. Sorry for being confidently incorrect. Sorry for the content. So we can't rebuke a Shadow or an Angler here, which does kind of stink. But they're probably going to double spell, so we should be able to rebuke something. Well, I'm going to try to rebuke this. If they stubborn denial, it's not that bad. Although I'm not sure that they're actually Shadow. I'm actually not sure that my opponent's playing Shadow. I think my opponent's playing Shadow. I think I'm just going to start off by getting a Cabin. Okay, well, I guess I hope that doesn't get dot seized. Also, maybe famous last words. But its last card is the Royal Scions. So they can give their Shadow Trample. But if they give their Shadow Trample, they're, you know, losing their Shadow to the Tracker. Do I think Tireless Tracker was printed in the wrong year? I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question. So they can hit me for 8. But if they hit me for 8, I can just kill them, so bring it on. What other decks am I planning on playing today? I'm not sure. I think I'll probably play 2 leagues with this deck. And then I have Bant Ephemerate prepped. I have a Jeskai Polymorph deck prepped. I think I'm going to sack a Clue. Could also see sacking food here. And so we're gonna see where, you know, where my heart takes me, I guess, after that. I can only sack 3 clues, so not enough to kill my opponent here. But I'll at the very least be able to kill the Scions. Gingerbread Cabin! Thank you, Esther.
Does chat want to see my beautiful latte?
Sure. Let's put it in front of the camera. Esther made a latte. Not for me, but for her.
I made a cafe mocha for you.
Yeah,
it's just not as pretty.
Just like I'm not as pretty as you. Well, we win the game, which is good. Good commentary, right? I guess my opponent can't attack. I just wanted to use the mana before my opponent went to the next phase. Yeah. Opponent should be playing Witch's Cottage in their deck. I wonder if that's actually a thing for Shadow. Probably not. But maybe. So I do think Grixis Shadow is maybe a little bit of a gap in this deck building. I was playing a Sultai version that had Murderous Cut in the sideboard so I could kill Gurmag Anglers and so that I could kill Stormwing entities. But I was thinking Galvanic Blast kills Stormwing entity most of the time, or a lot of the time at least. But Angler specifically seems like a really difficult card for us to deal with. We could maybe just try to Galvanic Blast them. I'm not sure if I like that. Kind of down to Temur Rebuke. Yeah, I usually like to cut Mox Amber in these kinds of matchups. You know what? I think I'll just, like, bring in these Soul Guide Lanterns, maybe to try to help fight Anglers. That kind of makes sense. Cryptic is a bad card for this matchup. I don't know if I necessarily agree. Like, Cryptic is an out to Gurmag Angler, which seems like the biggest problem for us. So yeah, I don't know if I agree with that. I think it might be reasonable to cut one, though. So why is Cabin good in the deck? It makes an artifact for a very small opportunity cost, specifically on the turn you play Urza, to power up the Urza. It also works with Goose. Yeah, we could honestly play 4 Galvanic Blasts and just try to blast them. Cut an EE. Yeah, I think 3 E's is a bit much when they only kill shadows, but they're good at killing shadows.
I am not in the mood for crab hands today. It is a sad day.
It is a sad day. Sideboarding stuff. Okay, I think I'm down to cut the 3rd Cryptic and play 2 Blast and submit. You can E Scourges. My opponent is not playing Scourge of the Skyclaves. I think like Grixis shouldn't play the Scourge. It's a weird hand. Is this hand good? No, I'm gonna mulligan. This hand's bad too. Maybe we're able to keep on 6. Yeah, I think going to 5 is pretty inadvisable. If our goose lives, we get to Wrenn and Six, you know. The Archer's turn 1 is GG, not if I draw well. But I think going to 5 against Grixis Shadow is also GG when they keep 7. Exile their Thoughtseize. And if my opponent gets to the point where they can cast an Angler, I'll just sack the Lantern, I think. But I'd rather draw a card, probably. So if this resolves, they can Angler immediately. Damn it. Alright. Alright, I guess I'm just going to let it resolve. Now I'll sack it, but... they probably would have Anglered if they already had it. I think it's probably fine to sack now. Wow, Dreadhorde Arcanist. That was not on my list of cards I thought could possibly get cast that turn. I wonder how many they're playing. This could just be the list that I lost to on Saturday. That'd be cool. Maybe I should have held the Lantern. Well, I guess like this would just the same thing would happen here. They just respawn, or after I sack the Lantern, they'd still get to do this. Don't Tails End me, please. I'm too young to get Tails Ended. But I have to wait to sack the explosives because of Sprite Dragon. Although if my opponent just attacks, I'll just take 1. This way they can't just play a second Arcanist post-combat. And now I'll go Bauble then. If I see another Arcanist, I probably won't sack this. There's a Delta. Alright, let's use my mana now.
Well...
Yeah, Kolagon's command here. Them discarding Cryptic. Opponent's flooded out, which is nice. If we can stick a threat, we have a chance. All of our threats are definitely, you know, must answer. No, I'm not. I'm just checking if you're doing okay.
I'm just trying to process things.
Yeah, I got you. Ooh, the Hardcast Street Wraith. Well, land? Not a land. Do I think I'm just going to value the land more than I'm going to value killing the Snapcaster here. Let's go Angler. Angler's bad. Basic forest also feels pretty bad. If this was if this was another cabin, we could spin Urza this turn. This Urza did resolve. Awesome. Although it's probably dying, right? Okay. We get the Construct though. Not dead on board. Probably going to game 3 soon. Packing it up. I wonder if it's crazy to just play no Engineered Explosives and play 4 copies of Galvanic Blast. Like, Explosives is not that good against Shadow, and like this can kill them out of nowhere, and it also kills Arcanist if you have Metalcraft. I think this is a fine plan. I think like 2 copies of Galvanic Blast can definitely kill them out of nowhere too. And having turn 1 Veil is super nice. Sideboard needs Magmatic Sinkhole. Maybe. I had Murderous Cut in the sideboard of a Sultai version of this deck yesterday. I was really, really feeling Murderous Cut in the Sultai version. That's a lot fewer artifacts for Metalcraft. I mean, it's 2 fewer. And we've got cabins, so always have Metalcraft. I'm playing 1 Amber. I did cut it, though, in this matchup. Two basics and 4 cabins seem like a lot with Cryptics. I'm playing 3 cabins. But I mean, the idea is like Cryptic is just so good with Urza, right? You can counter Thought Scour with Veil only if it targets me. So I really don't want them to play an Angler or a Shadow this turn. Did not get my wish. Well, we've resolved 2 Veil of Summers. I don't know if it's going to be good enough, though. Can only hope. They are going to fire off a Thoughtseize. Out of Veil of Summers. They take my Cryptic Command. I do get to block, though. I think this block is good, right? Like, if they have Kolagon's Command, it's maybe just not that bad for us. When it goes down to 3. Alright, well, saved a life, I guess. 2 Tintin Death Shadows were pretty good last 2 cards for my opponent to have. Not gonna lie. You can play Urza. And... oh, we can't spin. I thought we could spin too. We can play Emry as a chump blocker. But then they snap back push here, and then we go chump chump, and... we can win if we draw Galvanic Blast and my opponent draws nothing. Still 4 Galvanic Blast in the deck. Yeah, I could have top decked the Galvanic Blast there. So they push here. We have to chump block both shadows. They did brick, so we can still draw Galvanic Blast. And then Wrenn and Six or Urza give us an artifact here. Although I guess they could have drawn a counter spell. So how do you want to sequence this? Just sack a clue? Couldn't we have cracked the clue? Maybe we should. Yeah, I guess we could have, yeah. Should have. Well, we do get... oh, we can chump twice, but we just can't take the Angler hit too. Okay, stinks. Tough game. 2 and 2. Kind of want to play against a non-Death Shadow deck. Dreadhorde Arcanist looking very good in Grixis Shadow. What are my opinion on shadow variants in the meta? I think I like red-black the most. I think that they are fine decks. For I was drawn to blast, we could have played Wrenn and then used fetch to thin. I mean, the problem is like we just don't have Metalcraft after we sack the clue, so it didn't really matter, honestly. Bauble, Tarn, Jeskai, Triome. Interesting. If you have 1-drops before 2 clues. Yeah, I guess we were supposed to play Urza first then, you're right. Didn't matter though. Some Urza brew? Probably, yeah. Looks like it. I think I'm playing my Wrenn and Six, right? Just gonna hope my opponent doesn't have too powerful of an Urza turn. Don't think we're supposed to explosives on 0 and hold up the rebuke. Okay, E on 2 is kind of funny because we also have a really powerful 2-drop in play, of course. So we can hold up Rebuke. Or we can cast Emry. If we play E on 0, we don't get to do both. I think I'm just gonna get a breeding pool. Please board out Wrenn and Six when you play against Shadow next time. I refuse. I think Wrenn and Six is really important in this deck to hit your land drops. I'm playing 22 lands and 4 Wrenn and Six, and I'm really scared about not hitting my land drops if I board out Wrenn and Sixes, so I don't think that I can afford to do so. But there are certainly some decks where I'll board out Wrenn and Six against Shadow, but I don't think I can afford in this deck to do so. EE on 2 looking kind of interesting, although I'm kind of worried about this Emry. Yeah, they've got 1 card in their hand. I think we need to kill this Emry, so I'm going to go ping, ping, get a Witch's Cottage, play Emry, I think. Although I guess I want to leave up Witch's Cottage for this, just in case they counter the second Wrenn. Yeah, Chalice is an interesting sideboard option. I don't know if we can afford to play it, though. Add 1 to the cabin counter. I'm going to kill my Wrenn and Six by sacking 2 of their 2-drops. But EE can clean up the Thopter tokens pretty easily. And next turn, because we have another cabin, we can play EE on 2, sack it with Rebuke up. You like their deck better? How could you say that to me? It's fair. Obviously this deck is still experimental, so I don't blame you. But my feelings are hurt. I'm gonna sack the Thopter Foundries now, maybe? I guess it doesn't matter now. Need to find a way to... I mean, Idyllic Range was really good in the Heliod combo deck. And some of like the bad mono white based versions of Heliod combo in Modern still play it, but in Pioneer it was really popular. Although I guess our explosives is killing the foods too, so I guess you could have recast E for 0 with Emry on my turn. Yeah, that might be better because now I'm just actually throwing away these foods. So I'm going to play EE on 0, and I'm going to play Urza, and in response to the Construct token, I'm going to Sack E on 0. I'm gonna definitely flood it out here. Did I say I played versus Grixis Death Shadow with Arcanist? Yeah, I played against Diablo 3 letters. I can't remember I can never remember the 3 letters, but I did, yes. It was one of our 2 losses in the challenge last weekend. I don't really see much point in countering Sword of the Meek. How big can this construct grow? Counter because it's an artifact for them to sack? I don't know. I feel like that's just like... I don't know. Maybe. I see what you're saying at least. I think it's better to sack a Clue than it is to spin Urza here. Gonna play out the explosives on 2. I guess I should have done that first. Why? Oh, I should have attacked with Urza. For some reason I thought it had Summoning Sickness, which obviously makes no sense, but I should have attacked, yeah. I don't know. Brain fart. If I sack my Engineered Explosives now, they actually get the sword back as they 1/1 enters, but I also can't hold up Rebuke, and I want to be able to Rebuke whatever they get off of their Urza spin. Rebuke so they can't spin. I'll just Rebuke whatever they spin into. Or sack my Clue. Have you played the Karn Dice deck with Lux Cannon? No, I think that deck is sadly completely unplayable. But cool. I'm out of cabins. Seem like the kind of deck someone would force me to play. I veto decks if I just like think they're completely terrible. If I think they're absolutely just no point to playing them, I don't play them. That being said, you know, I do take on most challenges. I've got one donation deck for tomorrow I think is interesting. It's a donation brew. I might be refunding. I have to brew around Emry, the white land. I'm kind of interested to try. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to make it work. I want to be able to name Needlethopter Foundry in this matchup. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it work, so we'll see. I think Galvanic Blast is good in the mirror. What is bad? Maybe like the 3rd explosives can be trimmed. You can probably always trim Mox Amber, honestly. What's the dono queue looking like right now? If you submit one today, I'll play it tomorrow if I end up vetoing the Emry deck. I'm not sure. I'm going to try to make it work, and if I can't, I'll veto it. And if I end up playing it, then your deck would go in for first of next Thursday. So you can maybe wait if you want to. I'm down to trim Rebuke number 3. You can probably trim a Chromatic Star, because we're bringing in Pithing Needles. Yeah, I think because we're bringing in Needles, we have those, like, the same density of artifacts. I guess not the same because we're trimming explosives. That's probably fine, though. Yeah, I played against an Emry deck. I played an Emry deck before that looked really bad and probably was pretty bad, but I did 4-1 with it. And I think splashing for Soul Herder is kind of cool, so I'm going to try to make it work. I'm just not convinced. No Grave Hate? I don't think so. But I'm playing Pithing Needles as hate for the combo. I don't think I need much more than that. Tormod's Crypt and Soul Guide Lantern to beat the Thopter Sword combo is really not very reliable, because if they just have an extra mana and an extra artifact to sacrifice, your Tormod's Crypt or Soul Guide Lantern does not stop their combo, while Pithing Needle does, so I don't think I'm interested in playing Sideboard Grave Hate. Do I like Metallic Rebuke? I love Metallic Rebuke. Card's really good. Emry as a one-of in the Primeval Titan Dryad deck. I think that would be lame to the donator to do something like that. Would I accept a painter servant build around in modern? Maybe. I've seen some variants that look okay to me. What am I doing with this Bauble, dude? I think I probably need to cycle it. I just don't really want it to get spell bombed. I guess if they play Emry, no, I still sack. They've got a Mishra's Bauble on top of their library. Yeah, for the Painter's Servant idea, I would try it. I would accept the idea, and if I can't, I would just like just make sure that whoever donates knows that I very may well fail to build a good deck around it and end up declining at the end of the day. What's the black for in your opponent's deck? Thopter Foundry, sideboard cards probably. So no third land means we're not really worried about getting Urza next turn, which is nice. It's a great draw. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get a breeding pool here, and I will ask my opponent if they want to not get to draw a card off their spell bomb in exchange for denying me my Windswept Heath. They say that is something that they're interested in doing. And then we get to go Pithing Needle on Thopter Foundry, Emry, hold up, Galvanic Blast. And a Mox Amber and a Misty. Lou Mason, 11 months, nearly 1 year. Happy nearly anniversary. Rest in peace, Emry. They kill my needle too. It's pretty good. So if I get breeding pool here, I don't have rebuke up, but if I sack a food, and get cabin to play Urza, I believe I do. I'm honestly not. Yeah, this is enough. I just counted both ways, and the other way I counted it wasn't enough. I'm honestly not really sure why though. I did activate Wrenn, right? I did. Cabin's been really, really solid. I've been really happy with it so far. They're just gonna make Thopters. It's fine, right? Oh shit! I did not mean to click OK. Damn it! It feels so bad. I absolutely would have countered that. We do get to ultimate Wrenn though next turn. I just clicked OK on accident. Please, oh no. I was hoping they'd block like that, but they didn't. So we're gonna hit them for 3, blast the Thopter, blast this Thopter, so we can ultimate Wrenn next turn. Well, I guess we actually don't need to do that because we can block the 1/1 with the Goose, so that we'll just make them equip, and then blast. Also can cycle Triome. A Rimblem without a Wrenn in play is, of course, always a bit worse. I guess we don't necessarily want to cycle the Triome, though, if we have the Rimblem. So I guess I'll just make a food. Mana situation's a bit tough though. But what we can do here, yeah. Oh, I like it. Looks really good. What we can do here is in response to the first sword sacrifice, bounce Thopter Foundry. You can pay for Rebuke too. And Galvanic Blast and Urza. How many leagues have I played with this deck? 3 so far. And did I go 2-3 last? Oh no, so this is the third one. I went 3-2 in the other 2. And this is the third league. Can't you pretty much burn them out without Galvanic Blast? Not this turn, no. I don't have I'm restricted on the amount of red mana I have, as you might notice. And they're gaining life every time they Thopter me too. You don't have blue mana enough for Rebuke? What I said was we could pay for an opponent's Metallic Rebuke. Maybe I just mumbled though. Notably, I don't have another untapped red source in my deck. We do have 8 damage at instant speed, though. I'm going to play this, so if I sack a food to the Goose for Rebuke, I still have Metalcraft. But I know my opponent can gain 2 life, I'm aware. You think you had to Rebuke that Prism? I didn't have blue mana to Rebuke the Prism, though. So I don't think I did. I think we're just passing with mana up here. No, we did not have a Goose up. I did type Goose, Breeding Pool for Cryptic Command last turn. I think we just Rebuke this, because they can't pay and sacrifice. Bolt the Birdie, $50 for a build around Painter Servant deck. Alright, so that's probably going to be in the queue for next Thursday. And if I can't make it work, I'll refund you. But I'll try. Do I need to gain 3 life here? Probably need to blast them because I'm again kind of choked on red mana. But I only have 1 land in my hand, of course, so it's not like I have infinite Galvanic Blasts. It's a weird draw. One thing I can do is flashback Cryptic to like Gingerbread Cabin bounce and draw a card. And so if there's a land on top of my library, there's Urza on top of my library. Urza's so good. Alright, the only way I can draw a card is... I guess I can just cycle Triome. Isn't tap bounce Thopter lethal? No, they just make more Thopters to block with. So we can cycle Triome, get an Urza, cast an Urza. Tap bounce Foundry. If we tap bounce Foundry, they gain 3 life up to 9, which is just not lethal. I think we're just attacking with mana up. Like I can't let my opponent Urza me. Like they could easily have an Urza in their hand. They're gonna have lethal? No, we have Geese. They draw our Urza. Yeah, we also have food. But we can maybe tap bounce their Thopter Foundry end of turn. And make a food, or eat a food. Although I guess if they have Galvanic Blast, we could die. I don't think this matters. They get another copy of Sword of the Meek. Okay, so I'm gonna go tap my opponent's team, bounce Thopter Foundry. We're dead to Galvanic Blast. They just sacked the Thopter Foundry. Okay, it's totally fine. Oh no, sorry. I thought that they sacked the Foundry. My eyes are playing tricks on me. Maybe. My brain really did think. Yeah, I saw this here, and I thought that it was. I was seeing it in the graveyard. My brain was freaked out for a second.
Bye, baby. Love you.
Bye, love you too. Have a good day, sweetheart. Pretty sure we're making a food, not eating a food. We can gain 6 life. We aren't dead to blast. I mean, not if we take this line, right? No, so I was saying by taking this line, we're dead to blast. We didn't draw a land. I was really hoping to draw a land. Spin to win. So we can't emblem with this. We can get a cottage, but we have to sack a food to get a cottage. Yeah, we need the land to draw the land, not spin it off of Urza. Gotta hold W with Urza to make mana easily, I guess. I'm conceding, I guess. Play land and spin again. We can't, because we don't have the 1 life to sack. I could crack a food and get a shock. Cracking a food doesn't draw me a card, right? I don't know. We didn't have enough mana to crack a food and spinners. Crazy game though, crazy game. Going to game 3, a little behind on time. I had 5 mana, 2 goose. You can't sack food to gain 3 life and tap it for mana. Because the food's actually tapped to gain 3 life, unlike clues. So I counted that we had 4. Right? Add extra EE for 0. I mean, playing EE as a Darksteel relic doesn't seem super exciting to me. Could have spun. I don't think that we could have spun, but I also don't think we had anything to hit that even won the game. Tap the construct. I thought the construct was already tapped. I thought I tapped the construct first. Or the one that. Sorry, I guess that's true. I didn't think that we could tap the construct that was attacking. Tapping that wasn't on my radar, but yes, we could have tapped that. I totally forgot about that. They have a turn 1 Emry. Brutal. Brutal, dude. So Galvanic Blast is the best draw, probably. Turn 1 Emry is always feels just so unreal. Wrenn and Six can keep up with the card advantage a little bit. Oh, they also have Manamo to draw 3 cards a turn. Yikes. Another Bauble from the hands. Well, better late than never, Galvanic Blast, I guess. Am I playing this explosives on 2? Playing it on 2 is like pretty bad. against the Thopter Foundries. I could play it on 0, have Rebuke. I think 0 can clean up tokens. Darksteel Relic go. Do you think Pinta Prism is super greedy card for this Temur deck? I don't think it's a super greedy card. I think it's probably the opposite. I think it's like a super, like, conservative card to play. I don't know. Yeah, I like rebuking this so my Urza can't be rebuked. If my opponent has land Urza Thopter Foundry, we're in, you know, we maybe lose, but whatever. And now we don't. This Wrenn might ultimate again. It's been an awesome match. Really excited to be part of it. They bounce my Construct. They push my Urza. Big draw step here. Big draw. Awesome. Some might call this poggers. They didn't even have Rebuke. They do have a Blast though. Kind of didn't think I was supposed to play around it. Maybe I was. If we get to emblem this Wrenn, I'm pretty happy. They've got one card in their hand. They can't activate Thopter Foundry. What a draw step. What's their card? Is it Cryptic? I don't think we've seen Cryptic yet. It's Whir for Needle on a Wrenn and Six. Cool. We're definitely ahead here. I'm assuming they have Needle, right? They're worrying for one. Just a feeling I've got. How many basics do you need for Ontonice? I think it's less of like a matter of an exact number and like what your play patterns usually look like. I guess they are obviously in on that instead. So I'm just gonna take this Wrenn up to 8. See if they want to sack their Spellbomb now. They got a couple blasts, although we, you know, again, we're pretty choked on red mana. Don't I think one Underworld Breach would be good in this deck? No, I don't. No, I don't. It seems like a very Widmore card to me. Why no? Why no? Why no? Why no? Right, buzz back. Wishing I had a 4th cabin right about now. Snaring Bridge is a very beatable card here. Kind of surprised they have it in their deck, honestly, post-board. So we have double Galvanic Blast here for 8 damage, plus the 7 is 15. So I think we're supposed to... Oh, I guess we don't spin, so we can keep Cryptic up. Cryptic was a great hit. Alright, so I think we 3-2'd this league. Pretty exciting. Usually you make a lot of mana with no cards in hand. It's so funny to suggest Underworld Breach for when you have no cards in hand, because how is Underworld Breach going to be in your hand? You know. Alright, 3-2. Maybe this is the superior Urza deck.